I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it.
Okay, now that we got the car in the air, and you're wondering why did I pull off the front wheel just to show you the spring? I actually didn't pull it off just to show you the spring. I pulled it off because you can call it bad timing, you can call it Murphy's Law, you can call it whatever you want. So, took the car to get in alignment. Not even going to say the name of the place. They pissed me off. They couldn't do it. Whatever. But I found out I have a CV axle boot either broken or came off or leaking or whatever. The hell. Just pure crap timing. So we pulled it off to look at it. So let's look at what's broken.
Days later.
Happy Monday. We're in the garage. I think we're going to start a new YouTube channel called The Puerto Rican and Pelon.
Pelon.
So Puerto Rican and Pelon Garage. Here with Larry. We're going to, I got to show you this first. So let me flip the camera off. Oh, the gimbal's working today, huh? Cool.
It's cool.
So what's a better looking garage than two 911 Carrera 4S's? 991 and 997. The two best generations. Period. Sorry, Jay Reed, yours is not the best. Auto Amateur, you're not the best anymore because you sold your 991. We are now the best 911s. Thank you. And if you're feeling froggy, we also got Ducati. If you just want to cut through cars and be a hooligan, that's what you need to ride. So what are we doing today, Pelon?
I have a leak. Discovered a leak coming from somewhere underneath, so we're going to put it up on the quick jacks and pull the panels on the bottom and see where it might be coming from. I think it's a coolant leak, but we'll have to see.
Check for Larry's leak. I'm going to power wash the grease off my CV axle, and I just remembered I have some RTV, black RTV from the Ducati when I did the clear clutch cover. So I'm going to find the hole and tear, and if it's tiny, we're going to put some RTV on there. It's a temporary fix until we can get the CV axle replaced next month. And that way at least we can drive the car. fue el pelón. Pelón's gone, so now you just have the Puerto Rican. So we got a switch of cars here. So Larry had to go. He had a meeting he had to be at, so he's gone. So we brought my car back in, and we're gonna lift it up again. We're gonna pull the wheel off, and something I should have thought of the other day is I'll pull the wheel off. We're gonna clean the wheel. We're gonna use just Dawn dish detergent to clean the wheel, but we're gonna use alcohol to clean off all and wipe off all the excess grease on the boot. And I have some sealant left over from when I did this, some RTV black sealant when I did the Ducati. So when I installed this case here, you can see a little bit of it right here, and it's very flexible, it's rubberized, and this thing has never leaked a drop of oil. So we're gonna use some of that sealant onto the CV boot here, and it's a backyard shade tree fix. It's not meant to be a permanent fix. It's just meant to stop the grease from getting spit out everywhere. So I can drive this car over the next day or two before I have to go to the East Coast for work, and then we'll get it fixed. We'll get the whole CV, probably the replace or both boots replaced next month. So. Okay, my peeps, we got the wheel off and we're gonna clean this up very old-fashioned way. We got a bunch of cheap-ass paper towels and pure alcohol. I know I should be using brake cleaner. I don't have any. I don't feel like going to the store and getting any, so whatever. But also, I've used, in aviation, we use pure alcohol all the time to clean up oil and grease. Does a great job, leaves no residue behind, dries everything out, which that's what I want to do. Brake cleaner is a little stronger, and I don't want the brake cleaner to get inside the boot where I still have good grease. I just want to clean the excess grease outside because I still have grease inside the CV axle. And I don't want to lose what I have left in there, which is probably, I don't know. If I had to guess by how much grease I had on here, probably I still got 75% of the grease still inside the boot. So I just want to clean this up gently, try to apply some of that Bond stuff that I got, and go from there. Let it sit for 24 hours, and then tomorrow should be able to drive the car without slinging grease everywhere. Temporary fix, like I said. This is not a permanent fix. That being said, though, on that car out there, the old Passat, I did the same thing a couple of years ago. Oops, let me get my hand out of the way, sorry. I did the same thing a couple of years ago. I put silicone RTV onto that thing on one of the axles. Actually, it hadn't got to the point where it was slinging grease, though. It was starting to crack. But I did that, and it has not leaked. And I mean, that was like 30,000, 40,000 miles ago. And it's still good. So this is what I'm going to be using. This is a 3-bond silicone type liquid gasket. This is what I used on that. So, and without taking the cap off, you can see the color of it. It's black. And all we're trying to do is just stop grease from slinging everywhere. That's it. Just because parts are back ordered, I've got to go out of work for a trip. I mean, this is not the way to do it. This is some shade tree mechanic going right here. But they were doing this because parts will take a week or longer to get to. I mean, I can find a few places that overnight a part, but also this is supposed to be fixed under warranty, so I don't want to come out of my pocket and pay for something that warranty is supposed to pay for. So the most important thing is not even the parts. It's you can't get an appointment because everyone's so backed up. So the first appointment available, regardless that it's Porsche or somebody else, is like next month. And I won't be here for the rest of this month after next week or the end of this week. I'll be gone till next month anyways. So I just said a lot of BS. Long story short, we're going to try this and see if it works. If not, we didn't lose anything because it's already losing grease. Once you go all the way to the top on a quick jacks, you bring it all the way down and hold the down button so that all the weight is on the safety locks. not on the strut actuators in case they leak, which these don't. But make sure all your weight is down on the safety locks. All right, so I guess we're gonna have to try this from underneath. Probably be the easiest way to get to this. All right. Yeah, you can see some grease there. It's actually not that bad. And then, so this is from underneath, right behind the front wheel. So there's the front of the car. So I'm laying. I was over here. Now I'm where the air hits the. This is much easier to get to it, to clean things out. And you can see us kicked a shitload of grease up there. Part of my main goal for cleaning this out is find out where the hell the grease is coming from, because the boot does not look like it's torn, but apparently it is somewhere. Okay, how's that looking? That looks a lot better than it did. Still got a lot of grease towards the front, but we're gonna try to clean that. Hey, the sun finally came back. Thank God, because it's been cold in this garage today. That's why I'm wearing a skull cap and a fleece jacket. I'm just making a mess here. Actually cleaning up a mess. That's a million times better. Still don't know where it's coming from. Maybe. Is it coming from there? Torn right there? Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at that tear. It's torn all the way through. You can see it. Oh, yeah. Put your finger in it. It's torn all the way around? No, just torn. So it's only halfway torn. It's not torn all the way around. So I can push it. I'm not going to make it worse. But now I know where it's torn. Cool. Because that's where we're going to put that stuff. Awesome. We found, now that we've got this all cleaned up, I found the tear. And actually I'll zoom in and I'll use my finger to show you. So the tear is right, not block the camera. It's right here on this, right in the middle of the CV boot. You see that? You can see all the way up inside there. It doesn't go the entire way around. It goes about halfway, about even with this label. So it kind of goes like on the bottom edge of this label all the way around to about 180 degree rotation. So it's bigger than I thought, but it's also better than I thought because it's somewhere I can put a lot of this bond. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this bond all the way around that and leave the car alone. We're not gonna drive it. And this will cure, it'll set in 1 to 3 hours, I think it was, depending on the temperature. But it'll be fully cured in 24 hours. So I could put this on there and then in 3 hours from now I'll go drive the car and probably be fine. But I'm just gonna leave it till tomorrow. Good thing is the boot is not all destroyed. It's kind of surprising where it's the way it's torn. Let's get to this let's go to this bonding stuff and we're gonna group this thing all the way around. I've already cleaned it with alcohol and you can see it's dry, it's greaseless. The only grease, the shiniest you've seen is the inside the boot, which we're gonna try not to get this stuff inside the boot. We're gonna try to keep it right inside this channel as much as we can. Let's see if I can push that together a little bit. There we go. All right, about to work. Keep going. All right, so I had my assistant help me turn the wheel. And while she turned the wheel, I gooped this up with the RTV. Now I'm going to take my finger and try to smooth it out. But since I need both hands, I can't hold the phone at the same time. So let me put the camera down, try to smooth this out, and then show you what it looks like afterwards. All right, so now I've got it all on there. Go ahead, I'll turn the wheel a little bit. Turn it slowly again. And you can see I completely filled the groove with that sealant. Now, sure, could I push on there and pull it apart? Yes, but am I going to? No. I want it to set. I want to leave it alone and let that sealant fill that groove. Right there. Stop for a second, Isabella. All right, so right there, you see where the label is? And that's where the boot is broken the most. Let me see if I can zoom in. All right, let me zoom in. All right. So turn it back the other way slowly, Isabella. So that right there, what you're looking at, that is where it was torn the most. And actually, I think I'm going to put a little bit extra in there. That's where the label is, so that's where it's torn. I think we're going to get a little bit more silicone in there. Try it again. We added a little bit more because I didn't like the voids that were in there. But you can see that's where the label starts. And where the label starts is where it was torn the most. So Isabella, go ahead and turn it slowly. And you see I've completely sealed it now. Keep going. You got a little bit of extra, but I don't care. You can see now the boot is sealed completely. There's no tear in it. Well, there are tears there, but I've got sealant all the way around. So we should be extracting no more grease. So we'll just let this cure, and then the car should be drivable. Right, so if you're wondering, how will I know when the sealant is cured? Well, because it's on the car, am I going to jack the car up and check it again? Yeah, that's one way to do it. But I'm going to show you a little trick we do in aviation when we seal things like windows and wings and anything aerodynamic. I'll show you. We'll take the same sealant that we just used, right? I'm going to pull the cap off. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So we got the sealant. We're going to pour... I'm just not even going to stop recording. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to pour a bunch on here. Can you see that? Okay, so all that sealant I just poured on there. Actually, I will flip the camera around. So all that sealant I just put in there is going to sit here on this box, this toolbox. And we're not going to touch it. We're going to leave it alone. And over time, it's going to cure and it's going to become rubberized. When this sealant is completely cured, that's when we know the sealant inside of there is completely cured. We do not attempt, like if I went to drive, well, I should say, if I went to go drive it right now, drive it the way it is, look at that. That's exactly what's going to happen. All that's going to get flung everywhere. We don't want that. So you want that to cure before you drive your car. So tomorrow what we're going to be looking for is it looks like this. It's dirty, but it's dry. There's no grease anywhere. So as long as tomorrow when I drive the car, there's no grease flung up on here anywhere or underneath, then we're good. And that's all we're going to look for tomorrow. All right, it's been 24 hours since we let that sealant cure. So let's check our sample that we have on the toolbox and see what it looks like and feels like. All right, here's our sample. It is solid. I mean, it's still flexible, but it is definitely, like yesterday when I was playing with it, it was more squishy. It's solid. I mean, it's done. It's completely cured all the way through. It is all the way cured. How strong is it? Let's see if I can keep this in focus. Stay focused, come on. All right, I'm gonna try to pull on this end here. See if it breaks. Doesn't break. And I mean, this is thin piece. If I pull it hard enough, of course it's gonna break, but I'm pulling on it. You see, it's not breaking. That's good. That means it's actually breaking the paper. So it's stuck to the paper. So that's really, next step is to go drive the car and see if we get grease everywhere or if the little sealant trick worked. If we don't get any grease, great. We got a nice temporary solution. We can drive the car around for a little bit before it gets fixed without worrying about grease going everywhere. If we do get grease everywhere, no harm, no foul. We were already getting grease everywhere, so we didn't lose anything. We just have a solution that didn't fix, but we're gonna find out. Let's go through this.
One eternity later.
Just came back from a ride, or drive, I should say. Instead of just doing a drive to see if the seal worked, I just drove the car regular. Went to the UPS store, went to Target. Where did we go? We went somewhere else. We went somewhere else. We did a mix of highway, neighborhood roads, city street, everything. And you can tell by how dirty the brake dust is on the wheels. Spit it out. I know the wheels look good right here, but they're dirty as hell. See the brake dust? That's just from driving right now. I gotta tell you, I love my Quick Jacks. I've used it more the last few days than I have since I first got it, but it's just, it's awesome. It is, if you don't need a full lift, this is perfect. So, this is from the front side. So from the front side, you see the stains from the old grease that I didn't clean up really well. But there's no new grease. The wheels are clean, relatively speaking. They got brake dust on them, but there's no new grease being slung anywhere. And it's hard to see the CV boot because it's behind that. So we're gonna get on the back side and I'll show it to you. So this is from right behind the tire. So I'll spin the tire and we can take a good look at the CV boot, and you can see that it's not leaking anymore. You can see my repair there. And you can see everything I cleaned is still clean. Yes, I gobbed up a bunch of sealant in there, but it's about function, not how it looks. And function-wise, it did its job. No sealant coming out. So if you're in a pinch and you can't get your CV boot repaired right away, or a CV axle, and or something came up and you can't afford to buy it, grab some of this RTV silicone sealant. 3-bond is what I used. 3-bond RTV sealant works perfect. So if you like this shady mechanic repair, hit me up and look for more shady backyard repairs on your Porsche 911s. Thanks for watching.